Hi, and welcome to Two Creations, the Asian American podcast where the Joy Luck Club meets drunk history. I'm your host, Cindy Yep.
And I'm Nancy Lee. And today we are joined by Joy Lin.
Hello.
There
Hi,
she
Joy.
is.
She's joining us all the way from
Down
Australia.
under.
Sydney, Australia?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay, cool. And we have a lot of interesting things to talk about. Of course, this is about the topic that's on everyone's mind these days because there's
Losing weight?
Well, yes. I'm calling... You know what? Actually, yes. I coined a new term. It's called the Fitpocalypse. And we will be out of this in better shape than we were before. Because we're what? Type A for Asian.
Yeah. Well, I
gotta be using that time.
I know, but I've been sitting on my fat ass, Jeff.
I've been making a lot of comfort food, so I don't think it's going to happen. But I do have a quick productivity tip, a coronavirus productivity tip.
Ding!
Organize your bathroom cabinet, because I just started and I found an almost full bottle of Purell just now.
That's like gold.
It's liquid gold. And remember, Nancy, we were just talking about this. We were like, that's on both of our lists.
Yeah.
But we're like, it's not that fun. But also we want to be productive because we're Asian. And so I was like, I'll just start. And then I was like, huge motivator. Finding stuff that you can't buy anywhere.
I feel like you're on a beach and using a metal detector and you just found like a gold nugget or coin or something.
Yeah. Or I'm pulling out my own gold teeth for money. Cash for gold. There's got to be something existing, you know?
So as Cindy was mentioning, this episode's clearly about everything that's going on in the world with this global pandemic, COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, except what Trumpty Dumpty calls it. Anywho,
that's another episode.
That's a different episode. But basically, we wanted to have a guest on the show to just talk about a different perspective about how people are getting through the mental stress of what's happening right now. It's not even just the physical, but just like, I don't know how you're feeling, but I feel like I'm going through an emotional roller coaster like 20 times during the day because every day is Groundhog Day now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we thought about all the different people we knew. And, a couple years ago, I reached out to an energy medium named Joy Lin, who is our special guest from Australia. And I really reached out to her because I needed some guidance about like what I was doing with my life. I was in my mid-30s. I didn't have a boyfriend. I had a job that I hated, and I just felt like everything was really helpless. So I actually had a referral from a friend of mine to meet Joy. And I was like, how do you do this kind of medium energy reading over FaceTime, basically? I was like, because when I first heard about her, I was like, oh, so Joy lives in New York. And she's like, no, she lives in Australia. I was like, does she do house visits? And then she's like, no, you just do it over phone. I'm like, how the fuck does this woman figure this out over the phone? And then I was like, okay, now I really need to like meet her and try this out. So Joy and I had a session. This is back, I think, in 2016. And literally, like, I said nothing. She just like did her thing. And like, she was able to articulate everything that I was like angst about and stressed about and give me some guidance and kind of like open up the doors of like what was happening and kind of like what will happen. So it was like one of the coolest experiences I had. So now I've developed a nice lasting relationship with her and introduced her to Cindy because I actually got to meet her in person in San Francisco.
Yeah. And I also had a session with her, and it's just like you said, like ding, 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 everything hit the nail on the head. And it really, I found was really fascinating how she described how she came to acknowledge her gift And so we should ask her, how do you like to be described? I want to say spiritual, medium, healer.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yep.
all those are good. If I'm talking to older Chinese people, I just say I'm a fortune teller.
Hey,
The
that would on me too.
good old fashioned fortune teller.
Fortune teller.
And which goes back in the Asian culture quite a long way, looking at
Absolutely.
your how even like the feng shui and how your name is written, or if you need to change your like name, or how you're born and the year.
Yeah.
So it's part of our culture in a way, and it's actually part of many cultures. And I've just kind of refined it, I guess, in the more Asian American or spiritual type of way.
So, maybe you could tell us or tell our listeners, about how, you came to discover that you had this gift and what a medium does.
Well, I people say I was born with it, but I blocked it. Being a medium or a psychic or anything of that sort is basically about your intuition, and everyone has intuition, but some people are just more in tune with it than others and have more sensitivity to it. I mean, every person might have a gut feel. They might call it a gut feel, or they can externalize it as their guardian angel or spirit or whatnot. But it's just kind of a knowing, and it can start subtly as, oh, I don't have a good feeling about, I don't know, a person or a situation. And then if you ignore that feeling and then it happens, you go, oh my God, I should have listened to myself. And that happens so many times.
God damn it.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your intuition. It's a birthright. It's a God-given gift, so to speak. Everyone's born with it. However, people can block it, people can develop it, and some have stronger senses of that intuitive feature, whether it's through sight, like some people might see auras or colors, or in my case, I do kind of see visions or almost projections of people who have passed as a spirit. So that's where the mediumship comes in. Some people are clairsentient, which they get feelings a lot, you get goose pimples when something's right, or shivers or chills. Some people can hear things, or kind of hear just like almost like a slight whisper, or an actual conversation. So it's really just senses that everyone's given, whether it develops or not, whether you block it or not, because in society we're quite practical and grounded and taught to be so. Especially in an Asian family, it was all about, science, numbers, and doing well in school. So this was not developed in me nor encouraged. It wasn't until I moved to Australia that I really opened up, and I was opened up by another friend who was also a medium, that I didn't know they were a medium. But when I say open up, it's opening up, I guess, your intuition and your energy centers, and that can be developed. And that's pretty much how I've developed, and I've been doing it now for well over 10 years, 10, 15 years or so. So, yeah, it's definitely taken a while to convince myself that this is real, or there's other things out there on an energetic level. I wasn't just going to blindly believe in everything, because I honestly thought I was going crazy in the beginning.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but I definitely felt things, knew things that it wasn't just coincidence to know, especially when it came to people that have passed, loved ones, people that I never met their grandparents or whatever, but in a meeting, I could describe them accurately, and it would just freak me out as well. So that's kind of my background to it all.
And
sorry.
I'm sorry. So it was scary at first.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm an engineer by study, by trade. I still do engineering work. So I'm very much based on practical numbers, science. Part of what I feel now to, I guess, rationalize half of what I feel is everything. I work in the basis of energy. So everything's energy, and energy cannot be created and destroyed. So energy has different frequencies and vibrations. And so I believe some of even a spiritual energy, spirits that we can't see, is perhaps just vibrating at a higher level. And so opening my mind to that and understanding how energy works has helped me feel it, sense it, and almost understand it better. So that's where I've brought my science mind into this, I guess.
So Asian of you.
I had to be.
I mean, you still got to pay the bills, right? You're like, you can't just follow this dream of yours and this is your livelihood or whatnot, basically, like you need to have some sort of science. And there's a good twist to it that it makes sense.
Yeah, look, I when I told my parents that I had guilt, yeah, it was a bit like,
You're like,
right. Yeah, my mom actually prayed to Kuan Yin and Buddha for me for my sanity for a while. She actually did. She's like, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to light incense and pray for you. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ma.
But like, is it so much weirder than like Jesus or, mythologies or the Buddha or like Hindu gods? Like, is it so different? Do we just believe different things that are already in our society? I personally, I don't, know if everyone knows this, but I am a practitioner of the hippie arts, I like to say. So I'll do like anything. I'll do like any reading. Everybody knows this about me. I'll try anything once.
And I think that's great. I think that's the open mind, the open-mindedness that is needed right now in society. And I think with everything that's going on right now, this is going to make people look at themselves, and people like you and Nancy who have done the work, who are more open-minded, I think won't find what's happening in the world now as confronting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's dive into that a little bit. There's a lot going on. Our previous episode, which was our coronavirus special, that is the one in which we were like, maybe this isn't gonna be that big a deal. We retract that statement. We were trying to like take a lighthearted look at it, and since then things have gotten significantly affected every aspect of life. So let's talk about, I wanted to know, like, you have clients, you have other healers that you're talking to and what they are coming to you with and what the healers are saying.
It's really interesting. I actually have a lot of clients that are doctors and nurses and whatnot. And something fascinating happened when this first started, with myself included. When this first started, I did a podcast on the coronavirus, similar to yourselves on the special. But I was working, and I'm still working from home, and I was in my head saying, yep, I need to do that. I will do it. Something with me when I'm a medium, when spirit wants to communicate with me, if they really want to communicate, it's like somebody tapping me on the shoulder nonstop and in my ear. Like, you got to get this out. You got to get this out. You got to get it out. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll get this out. And it wouldn't let up. I remember it happened over a weekend. It wouldn't let up until I finished that message. It was like, you have to get this message out. I have a client that's a nurse who was looking for another job. She was kind of tired of working in the hospital, and she was going to teaching, and she was trying to think of something else to do. Since it started, she said she's felt this overwhelming pull of what she called her purpose. Like, so many people have been stopping her and saying thank you for what she did, but she actually was excited and wanted to get to work. Same with another client of mine who's a GP. She just said, I never felt so right in what I'm doing. And a lot of the healers and psychic practitioners that I know are feeling more drawn to their purpose of, this is what I need to do, whatever it is, healing, a messaging, something. So I found that interesting. I found a lot of my clients that were more doing the work, more open in the spiritual realm, they were actually quite calm with what was going on. They just had this feeling that this is supposed to happen, that this is going to be okay. And I had other clients that, of course, were losing their jobs and unfortunately going into their panic. And I was like, it's okay. Don't play into that fear. So going back to what I said earlier about vibration and energy, right? If energy is all around us and energy can be translated into, thought form, right? People have done experiments, water experiments, where they write a word, love, around the water and look at the crystallization of the water form into lovely snowflakes, and they can write words of negativity around the little water. Is a Japanese scientist that did this, and the water crystals were quite distorted. If everything's energy, there's so much energy right now in the world that is playing to the fear of what's going on, the fear of the loss and everything. And you can do that, but it will probably just lead to more depression and panic and lower your vibration, essentially. But if you can take this as an opportunity to, I don't know, get in touch with your family, get in touch with yourself more, do the things that you haven't done, haven't had the time to, because we've been go, go, go. The world is stopping for a reason. And I don't know if you've ever felt this, but I know sometimes when I push myself and push myself and push myself, there will be a time where my body's like, enough. You're done, and you get
like
sick.
you naturally get he gets sick or something, and it's like, this is your body telling you you're done.
Are done. It's done. You cannot mentally push through, or everyone's like, slow down, rest, you're gonna burn out. No, I gotta keep going. And knock on wood, you break a leg and you're forced to rest. I feel like the world has been forced to rest, to reevaluate, to just say stop. All right, stop, everyone, stop. And those that take this opportunity, I think, will evolve and thrive and find a connection within themselves and within their families and friends that maybe they wouldn't have been quite as aware of. I think those that don't take this opportunity and play into that fear, that energy that is quite predominant in the world right now, I mean, it's all over the media and everything, will spiral. And think about it. If you sit in negative energy, if you sit in someone who smokes and you don't smoke, and you just sit in that smoke, you're going to feel it on you. So if you sit in that negative energy, you're going to feel it on you as well. So it's challenging us to raise our vibration, I feel. Take this opportunity. The people that never have time for their kids and are always rushing around to get the kids to band practice, to ballet, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Now you can homeschool them and you get to see, okay, how they interact, how they're growing, how you get to shape them. And the people that avoid problems in their life, in their partnerships, and maybe use work as an escapism, well, unfortunately, guess what? This is a time to face
it.
Yeah, it's the time to face to reality, and it's going to be really hard for some people. And I think people are going to hate it because they hate their current situations, but they never do anything about it. And I feel like
you can easily get lost in it,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
They're so good at having more to do of work and working out and socializing that you don't actually deal with what you should be dealing with at the very front of yourself.
People are great at distracting themselves, of making excuses, of having avoidance. I'm good at it. I'm very good at justifying and lying to myself. I've done it before where I'm like, oh, this guy likes me. This relationship will be good. It'll be okay. I'm gonna try this. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Same.
Yeah. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna lose weight. And now I'm locked in with 2 weeks supply of food. I'm gonna lose weight. Oh, God damn it. I gotta really control myself.
Realistic.
It is about realism, truth, and personal responsibility. Do you like your life? If you don't, are you going to do something about it? Because we're going to lock you in here for 6 months to see
if you're facing it right now. It's you can't run away from it. That's what escapism, right? Let's be honest. Everyone talks about loving travel, and I'm guilty of it. I love traveling, but half of it, I think, is just the escapism of it, because you don't have to deal with the reality. You're like, oh, okay, I have a trip in 2 months, and like get really excited. And then you like take all your Instagram photos and all this, that, and the other, and what an amazing life I have. And then all of a sudden you get back to reality. You're like, oh God, when am I planning that next trip? Right.
There's definitely things that worry me. For example, Australia has put an alcohol limit purchasing. So that's interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I think there might be a lot of alcoholics coming out of this to not deal with their reality.
I think that's true, because you got people at home. Like Nancy and I were talking, and Nancy mentioned, like, what if you have a relationship you don't necessarily like? You might start drinking more, reaching for these distractions that you can reach for because you can't leave the house.
Pretty much.
Or also like because you're dealing with like job insecurity and things like that. And a lot of people are like grabbing the bottle. They don't want to deal with the reality of like, oh no, I don't have income. I can't be able to do X, Y, and Z. And I was telling Cindy, I was like, you know who I feel bad for? Because I like take my dog Biggie out every day, twice a day for his walks. And I go to the park. And there's a lot of people that sit at the park as like that's their job. Like I see them during when I do my morning walks and my afternoon walks, and they haven't left all day. And I always wonder, like, what is their home life like if they choose to use the park as their living room?
Right.
You know? And then I like, what about if you're in an abusive relationship, you know, or your child and goes to school to get away from like abusive parents? Like this is a reality. Not everyone has a white picket fence and lives in a great suburban home that has a backyard and has like, you know, private school being taught to you online. A lot of kids are just surviving in their house.
Yeah, and what if it's healthier, safer for you to be out of doors, even though it doesn't look that way? We don't all have the same privilege of sequestering in the same way. It's like becoming very apparent who has the ability to quarantine in a certain kind of way and who doesn't.
Yeah, comfortable manner.
It's going to bring out a lot of people's truths and characters. You're going to look around and see how people deal. And I think it's going to give people choices, like you said. If you're in an abusive relationship or you're not happy at home or you're bored with your life, is this the life you want? I think it's going to make people ask those hard questions, and I think it should. And if people want to still avoid these hard questions and not do the work, because it's the work on themselves, essentially, then it's going to be very, very painful and long, 6 to however many months this is going to be. It's going to be very painful.
Okay, let's say, let me just play devil's avocado with you. If I'm a mom, say I'm a mom, and all of a sudden I'm at home with my kids, and my kids are driving me crazy, and now I have to school them, and nobody's helping me, and now like my life is turned inside out, and I don't have my escapes. I've acknowledged this sucks. Okay, what can I be doing to come to this understanding that we're talking about?
I would ask. Well, first, I would ask if it's a single mom or if she has a partner, and if she has a partner, I would ask, is this relationship balanced? Is the partner contributing? And if they are not, I would also ask and maybe look at myself. Am I not asking? Am I not voicing my frustrations to the partner to ask for help? Am I always being the martyr? Am I always sacrificing? What is this? Do I need time out for myself? And then the kids are driving them nuts. Why are the kids driving them nuts? Is it because they're restless? They're not giving attention, or they're not getting the right attention, or they're trying to look for something else? Are they bored, or are they trying to get something else out of
Stimulation or
something else that maybe is not provided?
What's the cause behind you feeling this way, and can there be anything done about it?
Because I do get clients that are, you know, housewives or whatever, and they go, oh, so-and-so doesn't help, and they complain, and then I usually turn it back on them and go, okay, what are you going to do about it? And most times they don't do anything. They don't change anything. And that's what this is about. I think it's going to be a time of reflection for people if they're willing to do the work and look at the truth of their lives and their situation.
Yeah.
And that includes what serves me and what doesn't serve you. Because there are some friends that have said to me just quietly, they're like, I kind of like not meeting up with so-and-so. And I'm like, that's great. And then I'm like, if you don't like meeting up with them, why are they your friends?
Why do we
Yeah.
do all these things?
Yeah. Why are they your friends? Oh, I'm just being nice. Well, maybe you don't have to be nice.
Yeah.
Why are you?
Maybe I don't like dressing up or wearing makeup. Why do I do this?
Yeah. Why
do I post on Instagram? Why do I have to show this? I went to this restaurant.
Yeah. Why? And it's not wrong. You can
No.
we can justify, we can explain, and if you like it, great. But if you're doing something you don't like, I think you should ask yourself, why do you feel the need to do it? And it's that one. I don't want to hurt so and so's feelings. Okay. Well, then you're not being authentic to anyone, including yourself. And it's draining your energy and time.
Yeah, and I think it really comes down to values, like what's important to you, because we could endlessly look at, like, I'm not satisfied with this, that, and the other thing, and my cat sucks. But then we don't want to change all these things. We want to focus on what matters to you.
Yes. And it's the values, re-looking at your values. A lot of people are losing jobs right now, unfortunately, but have they been living outside their means? Have they been
so true?
What is important? Is it having these big vacations you can't go anywhere with? Or is it spending time with your kid and building puzzles? Because that's fun interaction. I don't know.
I mean, my life revolves around jigsaw puzzling right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's my life. And like half the time I'm talking to my friends about puzzling.
And that's great. Maybe this is a new passion you found. And look, myself included, I keep telling myself, oh, I need to write. I used to do a lot more writing. I don't have time to write. Well, now I have the time. I don't have the excuse anymore. So why am I not doing it? I'm saying things like that. Is looking at your values, your truth, and seeing if you like what you see, and if not, are you willing to change?
Willing to do the work to change it. And I think that's the biggest part, is doing the work. Like, I've worked with you. I've done a lot of work on myself, and I guess what you would call enlightened or like aware. I'm self-aware of myself, but that definitely took a lot of time because, I came to New York back in for college, and I got very easily wrapped up into like just going clubs and partying. And I like, after I did a semester abroad, did I then realize, like, wait a second, these people are not really my friends. They're my going out buddies, right? It disguised as my friends. And not until I actually fostered real relationships.
It's hard.
And it's not easy.
This is hard work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't come easy.
I wanted to go back to something you said about having a purpose, like the doctors and nurses that have this strong purpose, which really is saving lives more than ever now. The stakes are so much higher. What about those of us who don't work in medical fields? How can we find our purpose?
Your purpose doesn't have to be anything like saving lives or anything. Your purpose can be a mother, like be a real mother to your kids. Your purpose can be an artist that yes, it doesn't pay the bills right now, but it's your passion. It's what drives you. A purpose it doesn't have to be, Nobel Prize winning heroic, but it has to be something that you love and you feel driven to do no matter what. That's how I would define purpose. The doctors and nurses, those doctors and nurses just happen to be driven by that. I can barely stand a needle in my arm to donate any blood or anything. So I probably won't be doing that. But my purpose, as I found, is to communicate, is to have these messages and communicate, whether it's in a podcast or writing. And I've been feeling more and more like, you need to do this. You need to do this. So purpose is
how you
anything.
Find it. How you found it personally was like really listening to yourself. It wasn't like, I'm going to read this book and,
it's going to
talk to people until I find it.
Yeah, it's listening to yourselves and what you love. Your love for something, even if it's jigsaw puzzles, can be a good compass to start. And I think a purpose as an individual will be the key starting point for us during this time. It's at a micro level. On a macro level, I think companies, governments, countries need to really look at their values also and look at some truths on how they're handling this, how they're treating people, how companies are treating people from, saving jobs or not saving jobs, how landlords and tenants are working. How this is all working will shape and form our values as a society and as humanity, which I think will take a little longer to hash out, but we'll see how that comes through, because there will be industries that collapse and some that thrive, and how they treat their employees and how the government deals with things will show a lot about who is leading your country, who is leading your efforts in whatever your profits or whatever, and who's actually being sympathetic to what's going on, and who's still being, their values is still quite money, economy.
Being rigid or whatever, busy as that.
Yeah, and that's okay, but those are a few leaders in these companies. But if the majority of the people are changing their values and this ends and the company says, all right, everyone, go back to the way it was, 9 to 5, blah, 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 in the office, I wonder how many people will be like, no, you know what? I want to work part-time because I liked being at home. I don't know. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm saying this is an opportunity for inner truth reflection, and on a macro level for, greater part of society, governments, countries, and businesses to look, if they are willing to pay attention and look. I'm not sure they will, but we'll see. They will.
I mean, that's part of this whole reckoning that you're talking about. And I want to know, like, if, let's say we have this reckoning, we have this awakening, how are people who are like, haven't been compassionate in the past, and like, let's say they woke up to it in this, how do those people, how do those people keep from falling into unconsciousness again when this is over?
That's going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard. I think they're going to have to look at some very dark reminders. Maybe, for example, let's say if you're a workaholic parent, been disconnected to your family, you've been now quarantined with your family, you've developed a special bond with your kids, you've actually connected. 6 months later, you're forced to go back and your kid goes, but Daddy, I thought you were going to help play with me and help me build.
Yeah.
They're going to have to face things like that and say, sorry, I can't. Or, you know what? I'm going to tell my boss.
Reprioritize.
Yeah, they're going to have to face things. Or, 6 months in the relationship, maybe if they're not, I'm again speaking hypothetically, not happy with it. 6 months they were together. It didn't get better, didn't get worse. Now they're free again. Do they want to actually go out and meet other people? Or do they still want to be stuck here again? And it's just hasn't been exciting for 6 months, where they go, the wife or the husband will be like, you never pay attention to me. And guess what? You're sitting right next to me in the room and you're still not paying attention to me.
Yeah, we're stuck together.
Yeah, I think people want to know life is short in this instant, especially with this virus. It can hit anyone. Life is short. How do you want to live it?
Rather than just being on autopilot, right?
Yeah.
It forces us to like basically turn off the autopilot because there's nothing to go or do or escape, right?
Yeah. And look, it's going to have people reevaluate, I think, their relationships with their work, with their partners, with their friends even. How many friends will reach out and connect in this time? Is it the same people? Or if you don't reach out, will they never connect with you in 6 months?
Or are they just connecting with you because they're just running through their lists right now?
Yeah, they might be.
And they're not, afterwards, you're like, I thought you said we're going to hang out.
Yep. I mean, God, dating during this time has got to be interesting on Tinder and stuff. Like, let's all connect and we all develop these great electronic bonds. But when the quarantine's over, how many of you?
In real life, right? I know. How does actually work?
Are you going to meet up with them? I don't know. Or the 10 other relationships you've developed online. Who knows?
Yes. It's ironic.
It's like
that
real life
we're having more and more like virtual interactions. By the way, I love the renaissance of the word virtual. It's like information superhighway. I'm like, this is coming back. But anyway, we're having more and more virtual experiences now, but like what it's showing us is what's real and what's not,
Yeah.
ironically.
I think this needs to happen. I think we tend to get carried away with our lives. And like I said, sometimes when you go, your body or something will slow you down and stop. I feel like this was this universe's way, or the earth, or whatever you want to call it, to say stop, hold off, slow down.
I love this idea of the earth as
Yeah.
a
It's like a gravitational
consciousness,
pull or something.
or like a an organism with a consciousness that is just tired. Like it's tired. It's been going and going on autopilot.
Yeah.
And doing things that are not so healthy for it.
No.
And all the and I'm talking about like the energy of all the people and every life forms contained within, as well as the environment. And it is good for things to stop and be reevaluated, I think.
Yeah, because otherwise, when would this ever happen? Like, it's kind of like when the situation is bad, you have to speak up for yourself because your boss is never going to do it. When it's the Mother Earth, who's going to speak up for her? Like, people have been trying to do it. Like, we were already in New York City just a couple months ago. They got rid of plastic bags, right? So now you need to bring your own bag or pay 5 cents for a bag, right? They're not free anymore. And that took forever to happen. Whereas in the Asia markets, this is like a trend. Like, I'd gone to Taiwan at least 10 years ago, and that was the thing going on, right?
Mhm.
And, that's clearly a sign that something's happening with our earth, that like we need to stop dumping shit into the environment, right? And you think about it, like no one's going to stop the pollution or the chaos that we're doing it because it's not harming them at all, like directly, they think.
Yeah,
But
I think everyone right now is like, oh no, like the economy, that seems to be the thing everyone's forefront of their mind. Like they haven't been aware necessarily about the using up of natural resources. But now they see that there's no consumerism like there was before. But I think maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, like the pollution cleared up above China. There's less congestion on the road. Animals are starting to come back. Like there was a koala in one that came into one of the stores one day because there was no humans around. It just wandered in.
oh
Wow.
koala.
Yeah, and there
We've
was.
seen
I think.
koalas can walk?
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, of course they can. I just never seen it.
I think they filmed. I think I read in the news, and I could be wrong, that they saw a coyote in the streets of Francisco. Like people were just.
It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just coming because you know what? Humans aren't there. We're the guests. We are the guests.
Yeah, we are the guests. We are the guests. It's like when I go on vacation in a warm weather and people are like, oh my God, there's a lizard inside the house. I'm like, this was their desert first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just made yourself at home here, but we're just visiting for a short period of time.
And I think at the rate we're going or are going, I think we may have overstayed our welcome and really hurt ourselves in the end. So maybe this is society's way, or Earth universe's way of saying, hey, why don't you just slow down a bit, take a time out, reevaluate, and maybe you can stay a bit longer. But right now, just chill.
Like slow your roll.
Yeah. It is, unfortunately, it has to come at the expense of so many lives, but
yeah,
that's part of the reckoning with the leadership we were talking about. Like they didn't have to die. Like they have actually, in my mind, this may sound extreme, but I think they've been murdered by what has been a shocking amount of missteps and denial. They didn't but if that is, that's going to, hopefully change a lot of people's minds about what it takes to be a leader in this kind of society.
Yeah, value. Remember, in crisis, we watch movies because we watch the characters grow, and characters only grow when they're put in challenging, tough Yeah, tough positions, right? What are they going to do? Guess what? This is testing a lot of our leadership, a lot of the companies, a lot of people around. How are you going to be? Who is your true, value character coming out? And do I like it? If I don't, well, then why are you in power? Why are we allowing these people in power? Why are we working for companies like this then? And these are the questions I think we need to ask, not only on a micro individual level of what we want in our lives, but on a macro scale as well. So
I feel like, we touched upon a lot of different ideas and themes. And I think Cindy touched upon this, I think about the question about the kid, but, how do we make sure we continue to do this moving forward? Like once of hopefully we get outside and we can start interacting with humans again. That first interaction, like, are people going to start shaking hands again? Like, when will that happen? Right. Because it's like, I'm even getting
weird.
I'm even getting freaked out. Like, I get so mad, like when I'm walking and then all of a sudden I feel someone walking on the side of me very close. And I'm like, I want to be like, yo, man, 6 feet, like, come on. And it's like, I'm in New York City and it used to be like, elbow, like shoulder to shoulder when you walk. And now I get freaked out when someone's maybe about like 2 feet away from me and they're walking up against on the side with me. And I'm like getting offended, like, what the fuck, man? Move over.
Yeah, I had an incident happen to me this week where a man stood too close to me at a crosswalk and I stepped away and he got offended that I did that. And he was like, you think that I'm going to attack you for being Asian American. And then he was like yelling all his stuff at me. And I'm like, whoa, everyone is just keyed up. But that really shook me. I don't, there's like a lot of violence and aggressions and microaggressions that are happening to Asian Americans right now. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but it's a little bit freaky. And I think that is part of what you were saying about giving into the fear. Like, how do we conquer that fear?
I'm getting a picture of a pendulum. We've swung one direction and we've swung another direction now. It will come into balance. It will take time to come into balance, to adjust. The world will adjust. But how you want that middle point to be, I think that is what is being potentially shaped now, by your thoughts and movements and whatnot and your values. I mean,
so letting it settle is something that's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think we can go back to the way it is because the way it wasn't working. So, and where is the new norm, right? It's going to shift, and I think it'll take time. There's always going to be, unfortunately, hate in the world. There always will be. It's easy to blame whatever it is, Asian Americans, I don't know, China, bats, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Just
something cause someone like you can like identify and point out what is the culprit, right? Here's cause effect.
Yeah. So, I mean, most people, it sounds generic, is to counter the hate with love. Maybe next somebody steps away from you and says like, oh no, get away from me or whatever, just be like, I love you, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I try to speak to him very consciously that's not what my intention was. And ever since then, yes, perhaps I'm overcompensating, but I'm like, hi, how are you? Good morning, everybody. Because I knew, like, because I was wearing a mask and I know that, like, I might be more of a faceless person that way.
Yeah.
So
I think that's great. Being overcompensate, being friendly, because there are a lot of people with fears out there. And I get it. And it's easy. They don't want to get sick or they're in that hype of the media. So maybe just be like, hey, hi.
Yeah, like this guy's scared that I'm scared of him. And so we're all scared,
You're like, I'm just scared of all people right now.
it's not you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm scared of bats. Anyway,
Yeah, so I think that will really start a good way to start. So why not?
yeah,
think
let's
gonna
just
start-
try to be kinder to each other.
Yeah.
Be safe out there. But because we are Asians and we're super practical, I wanted to ask you, what are some specific meditations that we could do right now to help us?
Um, s- be comfortable with yourselves in the silence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people do meditation, guided meditations. You can put on music and you put on a candle, but I mean, maybe just sitting in the silence on your balcony of the garden and just looking at a candle, letting your thoughts, controlling your thoughts if you can, not like sitting in silence and thinking about what you're going to make for dinner and what to do, but just being like,
Meditation's hard. So
can
keep
be.
it simple.
Keep it simple.
And and when you start thinking about, oh my God, what what do you do?
So I work with angels or guides because that's what my construct and my framework and belief. And I have a meditation room in the back, and I sit and I just, whatever it is, anxiety, thoughts coming up, if I'm upset, I just go, I ask my angels or my spirit guide to come, and I say, can you just take this? I'm not asking to fix it, but for the next 5 minutes or whatever, just take this. And I physically imagine almost like putting the anxiety or the thoughts or the worry in a box and giving it to my spirit guide. And I actually feel better. It's like, just take it. I'm not asking you to fix it.
Take that.
Because a lot of people are like,
take that burden.
yeah, but people are like, fix this, pray, help me. And that's a big thing that might take a while. But I'm just saying, for now, in the next 10 minutes, when I need this downtime for me, I just want peace. So this worry, this little box, I'm going to take it. You do it. You take care of it. Just right now, you take care of it. I know it's not magically gone, but you take care of it. I just want peace right now.
For the 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I do. And when especially when I'm really anxious, I'm just like, please, just take this for, whatever, just take this. And I do calm down.
You have some meditation podcasts as well, right?
I do. My podcast is called The Closet Medium. So you can get it on SoundCloud or Apple iTunes, and it's just theclosetmedium.com. And it usually has a little bit of a topic, and then there's some meditation at the end. So they're about maybe 10-minute meditations at the end. They're nice, different ones. Some for healing, some for I don't know, forgiveness, some for recharging energy, relaxation. Just different ones.
And you've spoken specifically about the virus and what's going on now, and so that's a great resource for people to tap into. How do we find that? Just search for Closet Medium or podcasts?
Yeah. Apple iTunes has it and SoundCloud has it, or you can just go to the website, theclosetmedium.com. And the last meditation I put out 2 days ago, because I do it once a month, a meditation podcast, was specifically on the virus, and the meditation's about transition. Because that's where I feel like we're at. We're in transition, and how to welcome this transition versus resist it, be fearful of it. So take a listen. You might like it. So
that's great, and they can learn more about you and private consultations that you do and stuff like that.
Anytime.
Great.
This is like definitely a nice kind of flipping the script of what we've been hearing about in the news and stuff, like trying to feel like you're a little bit more empowered in this and you're not a victim of what's happening around you.
No, this is an opportunity, and I hope each of you take it, and I think it's going to be good for, hopefully, society.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's within us. It's not something that we need to buy or get from someone or somewhere else. It's already here. It's just like the silence that we were talking about in meditation. There's more of it than ever.
Yep.
Yeah. Just have to be real with yourself, which is not easy all the time.
Not comfortable.
Yeah.
Not comfortable.
Distractions is there for a reason, guys, right? But
I'm watching a lot of TV. I'm cooking with a lot of butter, you guys. It's not fit apocalypse over here in my house.
Oh, man. Well, this is great. Joy, thank you so, so much for joining us on our podcast. I think it's a nice twist for our listeners and for myself. I'll be honest, since we decided to do this, I definitely had been starting to think about how this is what really needs to happen. And I'm just part of this journey and how I will, take this
Yeah.
in the
Thank
future.
you so much for your message of hope. I think we're all going through it right now, and we all need something to like help us stay sane and healthy and safe. So,
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for
yeah.
having me.
So that's it for our episode today. Like us on Facebook and Instagram and all of the social medias at Two Creations. That's the number two, Creations, Crasians. And please send this to a friend who, is going through it, because they are. And and
Since we're all locked up.
it would really help us if you could subscribe and write a review for us. So it only takes a second, but it helps other people find us. So we really appreciate you listening, and be safe and be healthy out there.
Okay, until next time. Bye-bye, Lila.
Bye, love.